Alright, I'm back. Ooh. Ooh. There we go. Um, where we at? Where we at? Where we at? Where we at? Scorpio. We're Scorpio reading, whatever the case may be. And I don't know. I didn't get shit yet. I didn't get shit yet for y'all. I don't know. I'll see what necessarily falls out. But I ain't get shit for y'all though. Necessarily though. We got Ace of Cups versus the Ace of Wands. I don't know what that's about though. We're gonna see. We're gonna see. I'm using the tattoo tarot. Is that it? Tattoo tarot. So that's what I'm using though. Tattoo tarot. Cause we begin to rock. Stay, stay rocking all night long. I was just listening to that song before I came on over here though. So let's go. All right, let's see what coming in for y'all. If while you here, could you like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to come on, bring their ass on. I did though. I don't know what they come to me to watch, or whatever the case may be. But it is. So let's see. All right, I think I got enough shuffles. Ooh, 5 of Swords. Ooh. Overall mood, we got Queen of Swords. Ooh, Jesus. Y'all been in that Queen of Swords energy too? Babe, I've been in the Queen of Swords energy where I just been laying truths out fucking thick. I ain't even gonna care. You got Judgment, you got Knight of Wands, and you got Ten of Cups here. Uh, that Judgment speaks to me. Where you hear me say the Queen of Swords, ideally though, because I tell you, everybody. I was on another platform and I was talking about how people try to necromancy other people's pain or situations. No, well, you would do this and you would do this to justify fucked up shit that they do, or it's more in a sympathy style type matter. I told you the Judgment, the Knight of Wands, and the Ten of Cups. I have been getting this wave of family style type energy of where Seven of Wands came out. I'm gonna keep talking. I have been getting this wave of energy of where it was like the collective of people where they were going through like some spats when it came to their health. I mean, to their health, mental health, emotional health, friendships, group, family, all those different types of things, the dynamic of connecting with people. And the Queen of Swords energy, where you hear me say it speaks to the deck, where it's a person that is somewhat semi, very bitchy. It's bitchy. So I said some of y'all been going through that Queen of Swords energy because I know Mercury is in Aries. Please hit me out. Like for real. That's that fire starter. Oh, hot headed. Ace of Pentacles and a Page of Pentacles. Oh shit, here we go. We got the Hangman though behind that. Let's keep going. But I'll tell y'all when I get through. Shit. Eight of Cups and the Page of Cups reversed. Ooh. I'm still alive, but I'm barely breathing. I'm praying to a God that I don't believe in. Cause I got time while I but she's got freedom. Cause when a heart breaks, no, it don't break even. I don't even know where the fuck they came from. She's such a love in the world. Standing dust. Okay, bam. Here we go. Before I can get my words out, where my remote is? My little sounds in the back though. I be liking them shamanic sounds though. I really do. Them just be eating on the right day. I'm telling you, you get high as a bird. I'm telling you. Off them edibles, baby. You go to sleep. That is the best sleep you ever got in your life with them sounds in the background. You wake up feel like you can change the goddamn world. Okay, word. It's like wait. I told you no. I said that judgment energy has been giving me the energy of like a person who can necromancy other people's situations. So the judgment reverse can be in the form of like I told you, it's that on the table trying to revive, bring something back to life, to relive again, or something. Ideally, though, it can be in a malicious style intent because the judgment reverse can be a malicious type style of gossip, though, and it always has that casket to where it speaks of like people coming out of the casket. So you have those type of people. So this could be that season because a lot of people are necessarily trying to level up, bounce back from COVID energy. A lot of y'all been doing the spiritual work, not spiritual work, or you could be that person ideally though that's trying to come back in somebody's life and trying to say hello or whatever the case may be. So I don't know what that's necessarily about. Overall, you hear me say for the mood that we going with, this is the high priestess reverse. I told you a high priestess could be in a space of revealing that type negative, revealing certain emotions though, and that's why I say y'all in that bitchy type state though, to where like you ready to just let go and fucking let have. Because some people necessarily don't know and that storing style type energy, but it could be like seeking spiritual counsel or needing spiritual counsel or coveting or protecting in those type of moments or awareness though. Could be some crown chakra awakening, understanding, or indifferences type moments that's going on. So that's why I said that though. Let's go. On the bottom of the deck, we got 4 swords. I told y'all that that's like putting your swords at ease. You got the chariot energy. I told you the slow movement to no movement or whatever the case may be, however that fits with you. We got 3 of Pentacles, uncompromising, unwilling to give. Ooh, we got the Emperor energy where I told you about the Aries energy that's wreaking havoc on a lot of people. And bam, you got the Empress up under here as well. God damn. Well, at least the scales are balanced. I say that though, because when divine masculine and feminine energy from both of ourselves gets on the same page, it kind of can be this though when it comes to decision type basis though. This could be a relationship though where like if it's that type of style or happiness to where it's kind of like rah, 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 like being so simpatico with a person to where like y'all could like y'all it's like feeding off each other energy or whatever the case may be, and it can necessarily be in this type of state. For some of y'all though, this intuitively though, when it comes to counsel or understanding or within yourself, I kind of feel like this is the imbalance that's going on. So it's kind of like an even out type state. I will say that though. So it's kind of like all around the way aboard. It's probably needing to get certain things out though. I told you that. 3 of Pentacles, I told y'all that this is a very uncompromising style type of energy though. So that High Priestess really don't feel as bad to me. I will say that with the Chariot, this could be about family style type energies. 3 of Pentacles though, Empress and Emperor energy with the 3 of Pentacles could suggest since we're on the style of relationships, it's like being uncompromising about like knowing where you stand if you want to reap in some type of relationship or connecting with a person, or you want just a monogamous style. It's like, no, I don't want it. I can rest easy. I'm good. Like I done made the decision that I want to, even if it's just blatant ignorance, it's a decision to be that and it's comfortable with it. So that's why I said the high priest is really too much to give me bad. It gave me more of a revealing. Like that scorpionic, oh, I'm not gonna say nothing, I'm gonna keep everything in, but now you're gonna know how I feel. You got Judgment Reverse. You got 7 of Wands, though. And you also got the Ace of Pentacles. And I tell you, you got 3 of Pentacles here on top of it. The energy suggests to me what's going on for the month. It gives me that it. Here, is it there? No, the 7 of Wands is like you hear me saying the High Priestess though. It's like not knowing where you stand on something though. The Judgment could be very uncompromising about certain things. So that's why it's like awaking or putting a stop, or somebody's trying to redeem something. 7 of Wands could be a breach of boundaries or a lack of trust that's going on. Ace of Pentacles, I told you, has the peacock on it. That's more of the showmanship. Oh, look at me, look at me, look at me. To the point where some people are not paying attention to details or necessarily understanding. For some of y'all, though, it could be people, because 7 of Wands does speaks of to not being able to stand up to certain people. So that could be the energy though, where it's like dealing with uncompromising as individuals, the people who feel comfortable to dig all in your past or your future or reveal certain things. Oh, now I remember, and it's kind of like sit the fuck down, like that type of energy. You got Knight of Wands reverse. I tell you, this could be like a arrogant, egotistical, um a flexing, a show off type energy. It's a very boisterous style type energy. And you have the Page of Swords versus the Hangman. And you have the Hierophant. For some of you though, it's like a cutting out of losing something. I will say that though, it's like cutting off someone else. I will say that though, because the Page of Swords necessarily, it's not a worthy opponent, but it's not a worthy opponent, but it necessarily will try. So for some of y'all with the Ten of Cups, this could be overall happiness. I didn't get a lot of Pentacles. This could be emotional. I told you this could be friend groups, people, whatever it is. I told you Ten of Pentacles in this deck. Ten of Cups in this deck speaks of emotional abuse. So that's why I said it's kind of like the Seven of Wands. Like when it comes to the actions of certain people or situations, it's kind of like enough. Because the Hierophant, I told you this is a very conforming style energy where it's like, oh no, you're gonna let me, you're gonna let me, and somebody's like, no. So it's kind of like a pushing style. It's roles reverse on the flip side. So that's why I said some of y'all got hit with that energy where you kind of like two, when you ready to cuss a bitch out. Um, especially people who deserve it though, because I ain't no low vibration ass Scorpio. I only do it to people who deserve it. You got 10 of Cups. That's why I was singing this song, Breaking Even. Then you got 8 of Cups with the Page of Cups reversed. And you also got the 2 of Wands. For some of y'all, though, this could be going through a change or move or getting the fuck out of the way emotionally, though, because that's like splitting everything in half. Because once you put the 8 and 8, you see those 2 cups. That takes away, so it leaves 2 cups there. So it could be a pairing, a partnership, a relationship, understanding. And you have the Page of Cups where you hear me say it's dishonesty. Like somebody's not happy. I told you it's very sneaky, it's sinister, it's not being able to move. And the 2 of Wands for some of y'all, it could be the environment type space where it's not communicating. I feel it's like not communicative. It's not a communicative style. Shit. I'm still alive, but I'm barely breathing. I was say, just give me like a relationship dynamic. Though. You got Page of Coins, and you have the Strength here. For some of y'all, though, if it got something to do with money or type of issues, though, it's kind of like somebody in a Page of Coins is not necessarily a financial stable type person. So it's kind of like that type of separation of division of assets or moving or finding some place to stay or being emotionally fed up. I think somebody is not financially stable, though. And when I say financially stable, I told you if it's a relationship type style or if it's what you want. The Page of Pentacles reverse is a sampler, so it's like, oh, I don't care. It has no remorse. It's not gonna say not remorse, but it doesn't lack common sense when it does things. So it's like I'm gonna do it. So for some of y'all, though, it could be your financial type spending. This could be with leadership skills, ability, taming your line. For some people, though, when it comes to conversation, regurgitating, and the judgment style type energy, it's necessarily for some of y'all don't give a fuck. I kind of feel like this. If y'all like me, I have not been giving a fuck about this high priestess energy because I feel like I have been secretive for too long. You get what I'm saying? To where you sit back and you go through the bad mouthing emotional abuse to where it's kind of like that point of where now I'm going to speak my truth, Ace of Sword. Now I'm going to necessarily speak my truth and cut out the bullshit to fight for the things that you necessarily want coming forward with truth. For some of y'all, though, it is reversed for some people where you hear me say that are the violators. Like, do the Scorpionic type thing where I want to know, I want to know, I want to know, and violate people necessarily boundaries to maintain a form of strength and dominance moving forward. Where it's like clearly no lack of common sense, but I kind of feel like in a relationship dynamic, I feel like that's that. One of y'all have a partner that's not financially savvy, or when it comes to money or relationship or overall happiness in a family dynamic, let's just say it ain't so good right now. I'm gonna just say you say that. Whoa, whoa. We ain't got a lot of Pentacles here. I found some Pentacles is gonna come out because Ace of Pentacles could be a job, career, identity. Oh, I spoke too soon. 4 of Pentacles, 9 of Cups, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Scorpionic type energy. For some of y'all with this 4 of Pentacles, though, I told you it could be financial type changes or going through sad things. That's creating forward movement. Some of y'all, though, I kind of feel like it's wanting financial stability. 4 of Pentacles could suggest shit, y'all. I need to put my glasses on. No, wait a minute. We got 2 different stores. I knew y'all was gonna be difficult, baby. Okay. If it's like a contractual type deed or situation that's coming up, I feel like everything coming out, everything that's put it on the table. So if you were trying to manifest something, whether it was like money, financial type agreements, or whatever the case may be, it seemed like it was a tough time. It was like a job or wanting something, like bouncing back out of that COVID energy is necessarily progressing and moving forward. Page of Pentacles suggests with the strength, though. I don't like the Queen of Pentacles. It could be somebody secretly doing magic or paying somebody for that, though. I don't know why I said that, though. With the Scorpionic type energy, I told you that's like to drain, to deplete necessarily, though. Like somebody's wishing for this, though, in the wish fulfillment type style, though. So I don't know who that could be. For some of y'all in an emotional dynamic or financial type aspect, though, it looks like somebody's more money driven. So it's kind of like, oh, let me get money, let me get money, let me get money. And I tell you, the Queen of Pentacles also is a person who isn't necessarily helpful. Like she's more self-absorbed, so it's kind of like getting in a relationship. They lie and they say things that they want. It's kind of like lower vibrational when it comes to a relationship status. The scorpionic manipulative type behavior of, well, I want this, but not being there. It's like not being there necessarily, not being supportive though. I will say that though. But it's, I told you, it's kind of like the scales are balanced. So it's kind of like if you don't like the person that you're necessarily with, Page of Wands or whatever the case may be, if you don't like the way something is going or how it is, it's kind of like both of y'all are one and the same at the moment, or it's going like a karmic type spat or a situation of understanding that, hey, we are the same. So it's kind of like if it's people who are emotionally abusive, you doing this to a partner that you love, or somebody who is financially abusive, it's because the way you may go about getting money in a Queen of Pentacles type so focused, you are the same as well. So it's kind of like you're abusive as well. So it's kind of like it's the mirroring type aspect. So it's kind of like, no, I can do it, but you can't. So that's what it's kind of giving me, though. I will say that, though. But for some of y'all, though, it's kind of like it could be awaiting money, though, to be free, though. I don't know. That's why I said when it comes to a money type aspect though. You got Emperor, Queen of Wands, the Moon, and Ace of Cups. There we go. The Emperor reversed and the Queen of Wands and the Moon and the Ace of Cups suggest that you hear me say it's kind of like some relationship or connection, like in a doing type style. Somebody's very controlling, or I want to say possessive at that much though, because that energy is like I think that's coming to the forefront though. Like if it's like a love or interest, it's kind of like somebody's coming in for you. I will say that though, or you're leaving somebody for somebody else though. I don't know. It gets me very predatory. I will say that though. So it's kind of like you in a relationship with somebody and you seen something else that you want and you're leaving and you're going to somebody else. For some of y'all though, I kind of feel like though it's somebody that's kind of like I'm gonna get you, or you going after something else if you necessarily want, and it's kind of like in the Ace of Cups though. So for some of y'all, I tell you this Queen of Wands, she can be very defensive. Like in this deck, it speaks of her being independent, a risk taker, like doing all those different types of things. So she's very defending. She's ready to defend her ground. So for some of y'all though, you could be in an emotional spat to where you're defending a person. I don't know why. It's like you're defending them because it's like either it's a love interest, like somebody's defending you, you're defending them, whatever it is. But it's kind of like this energy of Ace of Cups because it's like out of love or support or necessarily though. But for some of y'all, if y'all in a relationship dynamic and y'all arguing going back and forth, it's kind of like y'all draining the cups. Y'all draining the cups. Draining the cups. Like the cups knocked over. You draining the cups. Because you got Eight of Pentacles and a Chariot style type energy. For some of y'all, I kind of feel like this though. When it comes to if it's a family, if it's a family type matter, or relationship and differences though, Queen of Pentacles, if it's a feminine or you are feminine in your life, it's kind of like you're searching for something if you're in a marriage or a relationship, so you're really not necessarily attentive as you should be to your partner. So it's kind of like you're out here, you're on social media, you're entertaining, you're doing so many different new things that you're not necessarily there to be emotionally supportive, and it could be the person that you're dating with. Queen of Wands necessarily, if it's you or the person you're dealing with, is very defensive, so they're pushing you in this type of narrative. Eight of Pentacles in the Chariot suggests that, like right now, if it's like a spat, it's kind of like nobody's paying attention to the family dynamics or overall happiness, to where you hear me say it's reaping into emotional abusive type environment. You have the Temperance reverse. I will say that. And you got the magician though. Like I said, for some of y'all, it's losing patience with a person though. I kind of feel like somebody's probably paying somebody to do magic doing on you. You're doing it to somebody else though. Ideally though, don't know what that's about though. Trying to speed things up, probably going to a judge unnecessarily in your favor. But it could be like some type of love spell situation. I did say necromancy, dealing with the dead or dealing with that energy spirits type aspect though. I will say that though. I told you I didn't like it with this Ace of Cups. For some of y'all that's into magic or not, I don't like that though. I will say that that's what's like, ooh, that's what got me so scrunched up in the ass. Like, ooh. Okay, but I get back to it though. For some of y'all, I told you it's not. I told you in a family dynamic or a relationship or overall when it comes to your happiness or job or career aspect, it's like everything is rearing its head. It is. It's like everything is coming to the forefront. It's kind of like losing patience. It's like not having time. It's like soul needs peace or whatever the case may be. And it's kind of like, it's. I told you, if it's an environment, it gives me like a selfish type environment though, because with the temperance reverse, it's kind of like nobody has no peace. With the chariot energy and the eight of pentacles, it's not willing to go forward. It's like slowness. It's slowed down. Eight of Pentacles is mean like I don't want to put into it. I don't want to. I'm so stuck in my ways because the Emperor and the Empress can be that style. It's like no, I'm stuck in the way I feel. So what do I need to put into? So it's kind of like manifesting or calling in. Somebody's calling into the same thing. And it's kind of like if somebody wants out, we want out. Because you got Seven of Pentacles, I tell you, like it's kind of like the same thing that's coming into fruition though. For some of y'all, though, it could be a partner or a lover necessarily that you're not paying attention to. That's why it's kind of like wanting something and coming forward, though, because you got Five of Swords and you got Four of Wands. Four of Wands could be separation. It's kind of like marriages ending or homes necessarily moving out. Five of Swords in this deck, it speaks of like arguments and fights. But for me, when I see the Five of Swords, I say it's beautifully sticking it through the rose. So this could be pain over time that has been accumulated to where the arguments and all those different types of things has stacked to where so it's like over time it pushed through that. It was like, you know how people say, I don't know how did I end up here? Why did my relationship get? And it's like over time, like you didn't see that both of y'all was taking turns sticking the knife into the rose over time, like you were doing it so beautifully. You got Seven of Cups, the Fool, and the Eight of Wands. So I tell you, this could be some separation though. This could be fighting. Fighting though. For some of y'all though, it's fighting. Some of y'all trying to keep it an amicable type style. I will say that though, with the Five of Swords because it's sticking through there. But it's kind of like if it's defended, it's protected, it's defensive. If you snatch it out of it, it's going to fall apart. So the only thing that's keeping it together, you know, if the rose was a heart of the matters of the heart, it is molded around it hurt. So for some of y'all been molded around your pain because you got Seven of Cups and you got the Fool though. Ideally though, up under the Magician. You also had an Eight of Wands. That's why I said up under the Eight of Pentacles. That's why I said it's like coming at you fast. But I said for some of y'all, it's a lover, it's a person that's trying to necessarily come in. For some of y'all, this got something to do with magic. Somebody around here slanging a little yang yang. Somebody trying to call in some manifestations, ideally though, to bring into something new. For some of y'all, I told you it's kind of like you leaving one environment to go with another person or be with somebody else. But I told you it's kind of like the work dynamic, if it has something to do with pentacles type energy or family or the style of emotional, this is kind of like y'all are one. It's kind of like y'all are the same. It's not one and the same because some of y'all are not on the frequency with them. I would say that though. But for some of y'all, from a shadowy type aspect, the waiting until like that sneaky Scorpio revenge where you hear me say I had those type of moments where it's kind of like, oh yeah, I'm about to leave and you don't even know I'm fucking gone, like my bag's packed, I'm out ideally though. And that stacks up like a shitload of karma. I want to say that though when you're trying to move forward or grow into necessarily relationships though, because you have to break down those barriers and walls to be able to reach that. See that bullseye in the back? So it's like protecting yourself so much to the point where it moves so fast. Because that could be a protection type style. I'm going to move on. I'm going to move on. I'm going to do this. I'm going to detach because I don't want to talk about this. So I'm going to do this. So it's like skirting through certain things. I will say that though. Child, I said 10 of Pentacles. I said it's got something with the work dynamic. Because I know when I had seen that goddamn 10 of Pentacles, it could be with home. I knew when I seen that Knight of Wands. I said that's not a healthy type thing. It could be work or it could be the home though, marriages. Y'all got a lot of different topics though. We're going to hone it down. King of something. No, what's it? Knight of Swords. We got a king of swords here. We got king and knight. I told you that though, there could be some legal battle, custody battle. I will say that though, that's coming up, or just actual putting in the interest of a relationship. You got Ten of Pentacles, the Tower, and the Six of Cups. This is childhood trauma has been coming up a lot though. A lot of people been avoiding. Like, I think somebody has like commitment type issues though, because their experience or what they have seen with masculine or femininity, ideally though. So somebody lets that affect their style of dating for some of y'all in the past. Like either like this is the energetic attachment though. Like where you hear me say that Scorpionic, I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna move in the night, and I'm gonna move on to the next big thing. And then it's kind of like getting mad when the next person's in a relationship, but you bring that energy with you because you need to close that door. So it could be you or another person though. So it's like not closing that door and necessarily getting to the heart of the matter. For some of y'all, this is peace. This is understanding. This is spiritual evolution. This is like at the place of like seeking higher consciousness, higher awareness of understanding. I will say that. Okay, we got Two of Cups, Two of Swords, and the Six of Swords going back to the Four of Swords and a state of not worrying. For some of y'all, this is the intentions. When I see that though, it's like moving forward, but it's kind of like what is pushing it. Like what is pushing it. Two of Cups and the Two of Swords and the Six of Swords. For some of y'all though, this is like somebody trying to return back. Their intentions are coming back. I have been getting this energy where I say a lot of y'all with water signs, so y'all got an ex or a person ideally though trying to come back to work, to manifest, to bring themselves into their lives, or whatever the case may be, when it's coming from like a sexual type style or whatever relationship, because you got Four of Swords reverse, Five of Wands, and the King of Cups. So it's kind of like the Three of Cups energy to where like somebody is competing. So it's kind of like maybe you did do the energetic cord cut and you cut somebody off, and now it's the person coming back trying to compete and say, "Oh, I'm gonna win your affection back," and you kind of like, nigga, no, you didn't do shit for me. And now this person is over here to where they're like they have to feel like they have to fight for your love or compete for you or their jealousy, all those different types of things. So I will say that in a work type dynamic, I will say this though, if it's a vicious style, like if you're trying to get some type of contract, signing on to something, dealing with something, building with something, it's kind of like I think over time you have collected enough information for you to be able to make a move, ideally how you want to, because you got King and Knight of Swords. And the Page of Swords is up, right? So it's like all on the intellectual type properties. Some of y'all could have just been focused on the monetary gain that you could deal with, but it was kind of like seeing in the workplace dynamic, it was kind of like emotionally dysfunctional to where it probably didn't know how to separate from business from personal. So a lot of y'all could got caught up in the dynamic to where if it was those styles of relationships to where you don't know how to cut off work and come home, or a partner don't know how to do this, or you're going through some midlife crisis, and midlife crisis can hit at any age to where you're like, I want to color my hair, I want to do this, I want to move, I want to see the sun, like just all over the place to where like that's taxing on a relationship. So it could be you or a person you was in a relationship with, a dynamic. But I tell you, it's just too much. It's like everything, everywhere, doing whatever. What's that? Nine of Swords. We got Eight of Swords, Queen of Swords. We got ooh, there's a lot of swords. We got seven. We got Wheel of Fortune, Seven of Swords, reverse, Nine of Swords, upright, Queen, and you have the Eight. For some of y'all, this could be your own work. So you that arrogancy, the jealousy, the intention speaking, because the Wheel of Fortune could be the harvesting, like you hear me say, leaving from one situation to another. For some of y'all, I told you, kind of feels like karmic meeting karmic. Nine of Swords is forcing somebody to see the truth. This is a painful, necessarily truth. So Seven of Swords is kind of like the energy of you maybe giving this to somebody harshly or somebody's giving it to you. But the Seven of Swords is more of a sneaky style type energy of a person who gets away with certain things. And like the Nine of Swords, when it comes to the truth of the matter, it's like tear jerking or knee jerking type experience where it wants to bring about a rebuttal to where this Queen of Swords comes in and the Eight of Swords. But I feel like this Queen of Swords is just a little bit sensitive and dealing with her own type emotions, because Eight of Swords, this could be you or internally any person, but the Eight of Swords is like knowing how to shine through all those different types of moments. Because Eight of Swords is my card of an insecurity because a person doesn't necessarily know how to. So they could be defensive because Eight of Swords is more of the energy of the martyr, the God complex, or whatever the case may be. Well, I'm gonna save, I'm gonna do this, and it's kind of like nobody asks you. So it's like the speaking and doing, and it's kind of like nobody asks you. So a lot of y'all are learning to nobody asks me. Let me step back. Nobody asked me, or whatever the case may be, because it's learning how to turn this high priestess like this. So that's why I feel like if you're the Scorpio and you going off on somebody who's like this, it's kind of like because nobody asked you, and a lot of you are learning to be upright to say, I'm gonna keep my mouth closed. It ain't got nothing to do with me. So that's why I said it all could be either way. Though I would say that. But if the Emperor is reversed, the lovers is here too, though. That's why I said it's lack of accountability and it's cheating. Somebody is kind of like not loving themselves, or I will say the Emperor reverse is a very controlling and rigid style. So there could be a place where a person doesn't feel like they have room to grow, or necessarily it's like overly demanding. It's like so demanding to the point where it comes into a relationship. It's kind of like, how the fuck do I have room to breathe with you always down my back? Queen of Pentacles will be at the point where she's like, I don't give a fuck about them kids eating today. Like reverse, it's like tapping out. I'm not cooking. I'm not doing this. Like it's like that style of energy. Something to go hang with this person or whatever the case may be. And you just hitting a 180 and not caring. And it's like a person sitting there. You kind of like, why the fuck would you do that? And it's kind of like, well, what the fuck have you done? That's what I say. Kind of feels like a balanced type energy. It's like the yin and the yang, baby. The yin and the yang. Woo! You got the Justice reversed, and you got the Six of Wands. I told y'all that this control, this power hunger. For some of y'all know in the work dynamic, I will say this though, it's a power play going on because you got Two of Cups in partnership. So I really don't like it though. I want to see where the Knight of Cups is because I'm about to stop on this deck though. I'm about to stop though. I want to see where the Knight of Cups is. I want to see where the Knight of Cups is because on the bottom of that you got Four of Cups, Two of Coins, Nine of Coins, Ten of Swords. Though that's getting to the bottom of something. I tell you, I don't like that though. That's that nosy style type energy though, where those Scorpios be like, oh what's going on? Sitting there trying to manipulate to get information. Empress is reversed, so it's a balance type situation. King of Pentacles is also upright. Queen of Swords is upright. Knight of Cups, I'll tell you Knight of Cups. New Knight of Cups is gonna come out reverse. I feel you. This energy has been coming across a lot of people. It's been a nasty style type energy because the Knight of Cups is the energy of being self-interest. It's a person who could be only looking for sex and not wanting to commit. It could be a person who, in a conversation type style, who only comes around to absorb information and repeat it verbatim. That's where the Seven of Swords energy is style. I tell you, it's kind of like a power hungry type thing. So if you're in a work type dynamic, it's kind of like, hey, let's see who can shit on who. Like I'm gonna roll with that because the Six of Wands is the energy of a very forceful. You're gonna do what I want to do, like the Hierophant. And when the going gets tough, this is when the karmic balance starts throwing off, and like karma starts coming and throwing at you the same thing. It's kind of like, oh, because I tell you, Six of Wands is nobody friend. Queen of Pentacles is nobody fucking friend. Seven of Swords and Knight of Cups reverse are nobody friends. So it's kind of like realizing it's a doggy dog type style environment though. So it's like that though. So it's kind of like, damn, these, like, you go in an environment, you think you're going to be accepted, and somebody's like, yeah, go over there and kick that. Like the shadows linking up, ideally, though, unevolved shadows linking up, like, yeah, go over there and kick that, or whatever the case may be. You're like, okay, yeah. And it gives you a rush to the point to where you start being addicted to it. And then when you see that, like, hurt necessarily comes back, whether this is a partner relationship, ideally, though, they're doing it to you, it's kind of like, oh, no, I don't like it. I don't like it. That's the energy. That's why I said I don't like that necromancy ass energy. Because that energy been going on for the longest month, though. I don't know why I want to pull with some more for the first time. But that necromancy energy has been getting on my goddamn nerves, baby. Because necromancy energy, you and your mama passed, your cousin passed, and you ain't done no work. I tell you, that's like pure toxic scorpionic type energy. That is where they don't want to be open, like closed off. So it's like I'm gonna manipulate and I'm gonna try to get this to my best behavior. I'm gonna sit back and let everybody tell me their secrets. And then when it finds somebody that has a lower shadowy type part, it's kind of like, oh yeah, you like this too? And then it could sway them because their shadow could be a little bit more dominant to be into secretive changes or information instead of just saying, no, let me clock your motherfucking teeth like this. So that's why I said for some of y'all doing it to somebody else, like, no, let me clock your teeth with your messy ass. And then for the latter, it's kind of like somebody else's shadow is enticing somebody to be on the Knight of Cups type energy. And it's kind of like, oh, but for some of y'all, that Seven of Swords type energy is exposing that because we got Seven of Wands. I'll tell you, that's wishy-washy. Like that's where you hear me say, not knowing where it stands or standing its ground or wanting to. It's not necessarily standing up, but it's like being knowing where you stand with people or situations. So I know I've been getting a lot of do gooder type spirit for a lot of people in the spirituality type concept. That's why the high priest was there. So it's kind of like Page of Pentacles again. I told you that it's a do-gooder type spirit. I ain't gonna get that many out though. I'm gonna just do six. Knight and the reverse. I'm gonna just do six. That's it. But we got seven though. That's revisiting. That's regrouping. On the bottom of that, we got eight of wands. I ain't gonna get out of many cards. We got power reverse, hangman, queen of swords, and the hermit. For some of y'all, I told you it's kind of like somebody's avoiding going to a state of honesty, transparency, or whatever. It's kind of like learning certain things. I will say that though. I would say that though, because Page of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords and the Four of Cups, that's kind of like missing out on opportunities though for financial type gain. I told you it just could go back to the relationship dynamic to where a person who is not financially stable or they're just all over the place and necessarily don't know where their lie, they roots lie. So they're like, let me move on to the next thing, let me move on to the next thing, and not necessarily sticking to something though. So it feels like the Page of Pentacles will always feel like it missed out on something. Oh, I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna go. It will always feel like it missed out on something when you don't know how to hone that flighty type energy. Because I said that though, as much as we talk about fire signs, nobody necessarily talk about them Scorpios. They can be very flighty and don't know what the fuck they want. You got the Tower, the Hangman, you got the Queen of Swords, and the Hermit. That's why I said for some of y'all, like we talked about in the monthly reading last month, a lot be coming up for certain signs with people where they're so tired on a spiritual journey and they get to the vault in the other deck and you're saying, oh my God, well, I know the way. I'm going to go back because you took the path, but you didn't open the door to necessarily get the knowledge that you necessarily needed, right? And so you end up going back down the path. Eight of Wands, Knight of Wands, the egotistical, Page of Cups, this here, Eight of Cups. I already had clocked it. You hear me say this Eight of Cups to where it goes back down the path and say, oh, well, I'm going to bring you guys with me and not even knowing that it was this on this path, devil energy, sinister. It was bringing out that type of behavior, but it was upright though. And it pretended to do this, like in the intention of doing good, but it was also enticing the egotistical, the jealousy, the lower vibrational scorpionic type traits, the boisterous to show off. Well, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, because it wasn't in a space of healing. For some of y'all, though, I feel like that's in a workplace dynamic. If that's people who you work with or you're connected with, or if that's you, it's kind of like, oh, well, I can do this only to figure out that it can't because it's avoiding this honesty. So that's why I said for some of y'all, though, it's kind of like with a person, place, or thing, if it's a relationship or a dynamic, it's kind of like I'm avoiding going to the Queen of Swords because I tell you the Queen of Swords energy is like, I don't have patience. Like the Queen of Swords is all out of patience energy. So it's kind of like, all right. Like, that's what says a tower type moment. For some of y'all, though, it's the awareness, it's the understanding. I tell you the crown, the pineal gland, the opening, it's the understanding of awareness. But I tell you, a lot of people went to that door and they reneged and they went backwards. And they was like, oh no, I know the way. I know the way. It was kind of like that type of energy. It was like, I know the way. Five of Pentacles. I told you that's like that. Recuperating. Three of Pentacles, not looking at the bigger picture. You got Four of Wands. I told you that's not stabilized environments. You got the Judgment again, reverse. You got the Knight of Pentacles. I told you that's immaturity. And we got strength. Woo! I told you a lot of people in this season been recognizing that. I told you it's like the shadow. Like when I say this, I said the shadow necessarily arise in a lot of people necessarily in this season though, and it wasn't like from a bad type perspective. But I told you the number two is the year of the exposing. So the number 2 year is the year of necessarily to where it's harmony, it's conflict, it's balance, it's bringing certain things into play. So certain things that you may not like, somebody else may like. You get what I'm saying? You may be a do-gooder, somebody may not. And you feel that way until you partner up with those type of people and they expose those type of behaviors in you. So I will say that though. So that's the shadowy part of the year. That's the yin and the yang. Okay, we got conclusions already been reached. I told y'all that though. It's a situation to where you know what it is that you nothing will come in a situation. I told y'all a lot of y'all are running from situations to run to another one, and that situation is gonna pan out in the same way because it's like I'm gonna run from this because I don't want to take emotional accountability, and then boom, I'm gonna end up coming right back to it. Well, it's not right now. Emotions are running high. The answers you need are coming. That's what I said when it comes to that. That was kind of like if you are so in a place of being so emotionally fluctuating, and somebody's trying to communicate with you, somebody will lose patience. If it is something that you seek to dominate or seek to control, or it's a type of environment to where it's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna do this, and it's kind of like, no, it's kind of like who's learning, who, like you hear me say, you got to release something in order to be able to give. So I feel like for some of y'all, if it's like a harsh wake up, or you giving necessarily your voice, it's kind of like something needs to be released. Because like a lot of people are trying to manifest in or call into new opportunities where you're seeing the Ace of Pentacles, and it's kind of like, no, you need to release, release. For some, though, I told you, it's kind of like the energy of where people are in this necromancy type spirit, and it's kind of like, let me tell you something. Like that type of energy, it's like a necromancy type spirit with a lot of people like dealing with it though. I thought it's kind of like no, because that necromancy spirit don't work for nobody though. It really don't. Ooh, who is this in? We got a personal issue reaches a solution and your hard work is paying off. Really not though. That's why I said it's kind of like that though. But if it's grimy though, I tell you it's like this. It's this. I told you 7 of Swords and a Queen of Swords. 7 of Swords. I tell you that's the energy of a person doing something thinking they can get away with it, and that's when that vindictive Scorpionic thing comes out. So it's kind of like I don't know if you're dealing with another Scorpio or somebody has Scorpio placements. But I don't know. It's kind of like somebody's dishing the same thing back, or you dishing it back to somebody else. I don't know what the fuck that's about though. So this is a rough time. But for one of y'all, though, I feel like it's communication is key. That's the new moon. It's kind of like that's where you're manifesting, you're calling in. That's where it say talk, 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 talk. Clear, but it also say watch what you say. But you don't know who will repeat or what they say or in rooms. Ideally, though, I will say that though. I will say that though. What was it? Because I told Taurus about the dream of running with people who I deal with from their past, like they came out the ground of snakes, and I was running with them or whatever, and I seen them. So it was that though. The communication is key. It was something that's the other day in like a dream state where I had seen somebody and they were hanging with friends, and ideally just the way that they were moving when it came to them being intoxicated or whatever the case may be, and their friends necessarily wasn't supportive. So they were more. I didn't like that though. I didn't like that. So I didn't like that though. That's why I said I don't know. For some of y'all though, it's like chicken. Have faith in your dreams. All right, and work through your fears. This is new moon in Scorpio. I said that though, but that for some of y'all, though, I kind of feel like it's a forced communication style. I really say that though, like it's a forced communicating style. Like when I was, oh no, it was Taurus I was explaining to about the forced heart chakra opening. I tell you, my bad. My son and they're doing something. I was like, it's a forced heart chakra awakening, like that type of energy where it was putting them in uncomfortable situations to be a more emotionally understanding. So if you're a Scorpio or your sign of necessarily being a fixated sign and very secretive or whatever the case may be, for you, it's necessarily communicating the things that you keep. So it could be very honest. For some of y'all, it's that y'all have been too honest and too trusting with certain people. For some of y'all, it's a work environment that created the narrative of shadowy style. It could have been a relationship or a marriage that went awry to where now it just seems necessarily just overall toxic. And it's finding a new way whether you want to commit to it or not. But it's kind of like, hey, you ain't doing this, I ain't doing this, so shit, I'm out. And it's like trying to find peace or joy within something else. I don't know. Communication is key. A successful relationship usually comes down to one thing: communication. And the new moon in Gemini card is all about a new cycle for communicating with the person at the center of your question. Talking things through is the answer to whatever you're asked about. You can't talk to that person. You can journal about it to yourself, email, text message, and all other forms of communication will help you now. If the issue you're asking about concerns a sibling or a neighbor, there's a new start coming. A time to wipe the slate clean and start over. This card could also suggest that you've been too frivolous lately. Didn't I say that though with the Page of Pentacles? And you need to get grounded again. But most importantly, drawing this card emphasizes the need to communicate. Write a list of all the people you love the most and see if you are prioritizing them. Time to tell someone how you feel. Don't be all up in your head and not in your heart. Someone is flirting with you. I said that. And read more books. Gemini is a sign of communication and socializing of the ideas, travel, and energy around it. This card, no matter when you pull it, it is speedy, it is gossipy, it is flirtatious, but it is watching the gossipy, fast interactions, conversations, because it can turn into a Three of Cups. It can turn into a Three of Cups hypercriticism, friends that need to let go. It could be a gossipy style. It can turn into Knight of Cups, and it can turn into Seven of Swords, and it can also turn into a Judgment. So that's not necessarily what I said. Watching. New moon in Gemini is a wonderful time to get out and socialize. Geminis love a chat. One thing to be aware of is that this card is also indicate being mentally scattered. Daily meditations will help unscramble wires crossing your brain. That's why I said that though. I didn't go cap though. That's why I said some of y'all been this Scorpio energy because I feel it too though. I told you like I felt off. I really did. I felt off like mentally. So I told y'all I was like I was in like a meditative state before I had went to sleep, and it was kind of like forcing that energy out. So by the time it had opened up, like I could feel like this shit just expanding. So I was like, thank you, and I felt so clearer after that though. Because I told you I was like I was being too lazy where I didn't feel like getting up doing no banishing. So I was like, oh, I don't feel like it though. So I was like, babe, we finna go real old school, and I got it out of my sports field. I really did. So I was like, that worked for me. So I was able to carpe diem and seize the day, but I still got to do those vanishes though. Woo! Okay. This card, work through your fears. This card suggests a rebirth. Think of your situation as the phoenix that is rising from the ashes, the birth, the death, and a reparadigm. That's what Scorpio energy is all about. Whatever you've been through, there's a new start ahead. It may be a little dark, but it's almost certainly won't be rainbows and unicorns, but it will be transforming. This card suggests that if you know that you are magical, then it's time to work your magic. And I say that though, it's something about magic. I say either you working magic, somebody else working magic. You could be manifesting, calling in, or it could just be a style of dark or harmony. I will say that though. If you've been experiencing something of a drought and emotional intimacy is on the menu, Scorpio is a sign that likes to go deep into the mind, the body, and the spirit. So when this kind comes up, there's nothing superficial about it. Time to let go of a grudge that you hold on to, move on from jealousy, stop being obsessive. Could it be you're paranoid? Make it an investment and have some sexy time. So I know y'all, I'm gonna give y'all a positive patted though, Scorpios. I'm glad the cards reiterated what the fuck I'm trying to say or whatever the case may be. Because like I said, it's just that form of style of energy. It's like it is, though. I told you like that is though. It is. I told you the shadow comes out though. Like the shadow. I told you the shadow been waiting to come out. Because it's more like the shadow is more of the hours. For me, I kind of think like the shadow kind of reared its head in the summer. Like it comes out necessarily when it's like hot on stormy ass hot days. I will say that though. But going into the narrative of the winter to where like seasonal depression is on the rise, to where the shadow is telling people, oh, you don't give a fuck. You didn't make no money. You burnt all your money in COVID. So robbing folks because your kids need this. Like that's necessarily what the shadow going to be. Or you laid up, you know that man in a relationship, he want to come by, he want to come dick you down. Go ahead. You don't want, like, it's like that's when the shadow rears its head for me, like in the winter time. It really does. And the fall is peeking through. It's kind of like, oh yeah, okay, let me see if you're going to stick to that shit you just stick to. And then when the time rolls around, that's where you see people in crunch time, holidays, people going manic, families get into it from Thanksgiving to Christmas to tax time. Like you see that into spring. So that's why I kind of feel like that necessarily it reared its head. Though it really did. Though. I feel like the shadow has been lingering for a minute though. I will fucking say that though. The week ended the year and we went into spring. What was the spring equinox? Whatever the fuck the shit is. We hit that and then bam. we got hit with COVID, and it was like we had to go into the quarantine. It was like, oh fuck, it's like the shadow's supposed to be here. Okay, I gave everybody a positive affirmation that you could say in the day when you feel challenged. Yours is to say, I am willing to let go. So that is things that don't serve you, that's moving on. But I told you when you let it go, make sure that when you get to your safe space, you make sure you allow other people to have closure in the room to necessarily grieve and breathe as well. I release others to experience whatever it is meaningful to them. I am free to create that which is meaningful to me. I am free to create. I am free to create what is meaningful to me. I just recorrect to me. So remember, your positive affirmation is to say, I am willing to let go. And remember, work through your fears if it's a grudge, though. So that's why I said, I'm going to tell y'all like I told the earth signs, and I told them all last month. I said, if you're looking for an apology, make sure you go give one to somebody else so you can seek one back. So it can make it more easier for you. And not saying you always gonna receive it back, but it necessarily makes it okay when you're in an emotionally challenged situation when you're looking for something. And you're wanting this person who done you wrong to say it so you can have ease. So you won't be in a nine of swords type energy where you won't be fighting and combative. And it's also relinquishing that control when it said I'm free to let go because I'm willing to let go. Because a lot of y'all are in like the possessive, controlling, this like no, that's not working for you. That's just hurt, babe. That's just hurt. So other than that, though, this reading don't hit. I don't know what to tell you. So I really don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna name this though. But it could be necessary, like y'all know, with a breakup or changes. So I will say that though. It was all over the place. That's probably all over the place in by these retrogrades. I don't know. So other than that, though, I told you it's more confusing, scrambling. But I told you I could be magical type aspect. Clear your force field. Do some cord cutting, energetically attachment. None of y'all ain't in it. Get you a steadfast praying life. Okay. So with that being said, I ain't got shit else to say. Let's go.